This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fully Managed Podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you in your business journeys. I'm your host, Daniela, and I'm Penji's Partnership Coordinator. And I'm joined here today with a very special guest, Michelle
Stuenkel.
Oh, wow, that was so bad.
I know. No, it's hard. It's hard. I married into it. I guess I should choose it, but married into it.
I should have asked beforehand, but I
No
forgot
more.
about it. And then I was reading it and I was like, I'm going to try.
You're not the first one, trust me.
Well, Stuenkel, right?
Yes.
Michelle Stuenkel from Your Media Squad.
Yeah.
Very excited to have you today. Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, no, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for this episode to talk to you. We're going to talk about organic marketing. We're going to talk about Michelle's story. We're going to talk about her agency called Your Media Squad and so many other cool things. So stick around. No, to kind of break the ice a little bit, Michelle, for those watching or listening who don't know who you are, who don't know about your agency, what you do, can you give us a quick intro on yourself and what you're all about?
Yeah. I work with small businesses with their online marketing services. I actually created Your Media Squad as a side hustle years ago. Probably, I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago. And it was just strictly social media management because I realized there's so many small businesses out there that can't afford to have a full-time marketing staff, but they also don't have the time to do it themselves. So they were putting a lot of their marketing tactics on I always say the bottom of their list of things to do. So I just started, talking to small business owners and saying, hey, I know you need to be on social media, not necessarily to get a million sales, but just to have a presence so people know who you are. So let me just take that off your list of things to do. And after I started doing that, people asked me if I did other services. So my services have grown to email marketing, blog writing, local SEO, which I love. So that's kind of how I got started. I moved back down to I when I started my side hustle, I was living up in New England in the cold weather, and I moved back down to Florida to be closer with family. And I literally moved down here like the end of 2019, like right before COVID hit and everything shut down. So it kind of gave me the opportunity to go all in with my business, and it's been full time since for the past 3.5 years.
That's amazing. So, like, I think like it's like a great story of something that sort of just fell into your lap and then became your primary form of income.
Yeah, it has its ups and downs, just like every business does.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to this guy who he was my friend's friend. He wasn't like it was not for the podcast, but he's like an entrepreneur. He has like a small business and he sells bottled up juice. And he was kind of just like showing me where he makes it and all of that. And he was just telling me and my friend like how hard it is. But he loves it and he wouldn't change it for the world.
Absolutely. I think every entrepreneur would say the same thing. It's so hard, but
Yeah.
wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like something that's yours too, which is something that when you're working for someone else, you don't have that feeling of this is mine, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, can you tell me, Michelle, about your background and how that helped with running your agency or how that has helped with, like all of this stuff that you've been doing for the past 3 years?
Yeah,
Right.
I've been in marketing for over 20 years now. I got in another life when I was in college many, many years ago. I got a degree in public relations, and it had a lot of, marketing in the degree. And I just had fallen into working a lot in event marketing. I worked at a news station in Orlando, and I was part of their marketing department where I did a lot of community relations, events, and online content. So I've been yeah, like I said, I've been in marketing for over 20 years. When I left the news station, I actually moved back up to New England. I'm from there, but I pretty much have spent over 25 years down in Florida. But for 2.5 years, I moved back up to New England, and I was the marketing director for an autism company that had 3 different centers, and I was the marketing department. So I definitely learned a lot there, and when I decided to come down here and start my, online business, like I said, I just started with social media management, but my services grew because I was learning so much. So, sadly, a lot of the stuff that I was doing at the, autism agency, I wish I knew about it and I coulda done it up there, but, you grow and you learn new things. When I was first going off on my own, going all in full time, I did a little work for another marketing agency that's based up in Michigan, and they taught me a lot. So that's how I was able to grow my services. But honestly, I feel like the best way to learn something new is just to go in and try it. You're gonna make mistakes, and you know you may lose a client or they may not like what you're doing, but you're learning and you're growing. I never knew much about local SEO when I was first getting into marketing, and now it's one of my favorite things to do in terms of online marketing. So, yeah, I just kind of learned on my own as time went on.
Local SEO is also very like big with the small business industries, right?
Yes, I feel like it's the biggest hidden secret because everyone is so focused on social media and let me get on social media, but local SEO, especially if you're a brick and mortar, that is like a hidden gem.
So, do you work mostly with B2C companies or I'm assuming B2C, right? Because if it's a small business, but I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
mostly business to customer. Um, I don't think I mean, I have a client that is an autism center and they're always looking to hire people. So that's kinda
It
no,
depends.
that's not
Like,
really business to business. I would say that, yeah, the majority of my clients are business to customer.
and I'm curious because you said a lot of them are sort of very much into the social media thing, which makes sense. I think social media right now is very big, and we have seen a lot of small businesses thrive on social media. But you said you have like all these other avenues like local SEO and email marketing. Which one do you think is the most effective for small businesses nowadays? I know obviously it changes. But if you had to
Mhm.
pick one.
Mhm. 100% email marketing. I feel like well, with social media, you never know, like, your account could get deactivated just like that, and, I always say you're renting space on social media. I feel like since I'm strictly organic marketing, I don't really do paid ads or anything. I feel like with social media, it's a great place to establish connections with your customers or future customers. It's a great way to lead them into your emails if you have a funnel or you do newsletters. Um, the thing with email marketing is you're never gonna lose those emails unless they unsubscribe. With social media and occasionally with, like, your Google business profile, you're renting space there. You can get deactivated. You could lose 100,000 followers in the blink of an eye. with email, and your return on email marketing, I feel like is bigger. I forget the exact statistic. It's like something like $34. You spend $1 on email marketing, you get, don't quote me on this, like $34 return or something like that. So 100% email marketing. That was a long answer.
I totally get it. I think it's really interesting because what you said about sort of renting a space on social media is so true. I mean, with the whole TikTok ban that was happening, we saw so many people that were like, specifically the small business owners who were like, like I grew my business here. What am I going to do with this platform? This is where I got my following. And I thought, yeah, I mean, that sucks that you had to like, if you were able to get your business going from the ground up using this platform and now it's getting banned. And I think it's just an example of how social media is kind of just very unpredictable.
Absolutely. Yep. 100% agree. It's like, you know, and when it comes to making a ton of sales on social media, it happens, but it's not common. And again, if you had that email list in your social media, your Instagram got deactivated for some reason, if you have a big email list, you can reach out to that email list and say, "Hey, my account got deactivated and I started a new Instagram account. Can you go follow me?" So you're kind of, which hopefully you don't have to do, but again, it's a good way. If you have that email list, it's a good way to start up a new account if you have to.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because I think I talked to so many people who are in marketing, and some of them think that email marketing is dead. Like I genuinely talk to people who tell me like, no, email marketing is like a blast from the past. Like
Yeah.
nobody. And then I talk to other people who tell me that it's still very much alive. And I think I've come to the conclusion that it really depends on who you're working with and what industry you're working with. I don't think it's like fully dead.
No, I mean, I look through like my inbox every day and I'm just like, oh my God, I am subscribed to so many emails. Like, I need to like get control over this. But, you know, I think it just goes back to the fact that it depends how you do it. I mean, some people will just use email marketing just to have a funnel and try and sell you something. I do it differently. I want to establish relationships with people. Like if you go to my Instagram, I do a lot of tips and tricks and behind the scenes stuff. And I always like to try and drive people to my email list. But my email content, I do a weekly newsletter every week that I send out. So it's me being able to establish a relationship with the people who decide to sign on with me. And later down the road, if I'm selling a product or if I'm promoting my services, they know me better than anyone on social media. So I think it all depends on how you use it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. And how and who you're targeting, I guess, maybe.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
maybe younger audiences might not be that inclined to do email lists. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, like I think when you're younger, you don't really care much about email stuff.
Hmm.
It would make sense if your target audience is like 15-year-olds that you're not sending
Right.
them to newsletter. But
Right. Yes. Very good point.
yeah, but I also think that email marketing can be very high. I'm also subscribed to newsletters, and I think I discovered that later on in my life.
Hmm.
And I started liking to them. I did sort of stop because I had that situation with you where I was just getting like 50 emails a day, and they were all newsletters, and I was like, okay, this is like I need to chill a little bit.
I know, because you can't get to your work. You're like, oh, let me read all in you. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And I'm just getting like I don't want to say spammed, but it's just like, it's like and I had my normal emails that I also had to get to. And I was like, no, yeah, okay, I need to like relax a little bit. And I think I was also subscribing to just the same kind of newsletter. Cause like this might be a tangent, but I feel like we don't do newspapers anymore, right? And
Right.
I don't really watch the news on TV. Like, I
Uh-huh.
don't feel like it's a thing because I think nowadays it's like streaming services. That's where I see all of my content. And that's it. And in a streaming service, I just go directly to whatever TV show I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
or I don't really like do that. And I remember when I was young, my parents would watch like the Weather Channel to see what the weather was like that day and like Fox News and NBC and like all of these different sort of
Yeah.
things where watch people having all of these conversations and stuff. And I feel like I don't when I moved out on my own, I didn't even get cable TV because I didn't feel like I needed it. I was like, yeah, it's a waste of my money. So I decided to start subscribing to newsletters to kind of get my news. And then
Yeah.
news there on the newsletters. So I was just getting like so many newsletters of just the news where I was like, okay, I gotta like unsubscribe to a couple of these because they're all just also telling me the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I subscribe I would probably say I'm probably subscribed to a bunch, but a lot of times when I open up my email, I'm just like delete, 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 delete. And I expect people to do that to the email I send out too. Like I know it's not for everyone, and I know people might have like subscribed to my email list to get like a freebie that I had, and they don't really care about what I have to say every week, but they haven't gotten to the point where they're going to unsubscribe, so they're just going to delete as soon as they get it in their inbox. But I subscribe to a couple, and like I like legit look forward. Like I have one person that sends out an email every week, and she talks a lot about like Instagram strategy, and like I know it comes out every Tuesday morning. I know it'll be in my inbox every Tuesday morning, and I look forward to it. So you kind of get the best of both worlds in email marketing. Some are just spam, 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 and some are, good quality. Like mine, I market my newsletter as I give you one quick marketing tip that you can start utilizing immediately. So whether it's about local SEO or I don't even know if I talked about it in my last email, but talking about like how Instagram changed its sizing and everything, and how to fix that real quickly. And so it's like one quick tip, and then you can go on with your day. So hopefully it helps people.
I even I totally haven't gotten that update. I don't know why my Instagram is still squared, and I've seen
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know why I don't.
No,
Yeah.
that was me too. Like people were talking about it, and every time I went to my Instagram, I'm like, I'm still a square. I think last week it just changed for me. And then the other thing people were talking about was how they moved like where your name is. And I'm like, I don't hate that, but I think
Yeah,
it
was
was
so
now. But
I have the old Instagram, and I
yeah.
found from you're complaining that like they're gonna remove highlights apparently, or I think for some people they already have. I I'm like, dude, I don't know if I'm stuck in 2022 or something because I still have the old like I checked the app to see if like I've like updated it, and I have. I just haven't gotten the update to my user. I don't know how Instagram
Yeah.
sort of puts people in order to do that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but it took me a little while because I was seeing people talk about it, and I'm like, I'm still a square. Like, what does that mean?
Apparently, it's really bad. I saw a lot of people hate it, so not that I want it, but I also wanna be part of the group, I wanna complain too.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Well, it's funny because this one girl that I follow that she talks a lot about Instagram, she would always say, like, if you're doing a graphic on Instagram, like, make it, what is it, 13 by 80 by, or 1080 by 13. I forget the exact pixel numbers, but she's like, make it like that because you you have more space and you can make things bigger. So I kind of already started doing that, which I'm grateful for because now I see a lot of people who do graphics and made it in the square. Like their Instagram doesn't look that good right now.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah. A lot of people I know haven't, like, been happy about it because their Instagram looks weird and they made it
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
very small squares.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that doesn't happen to me. We'll see. Now, Michelle, I also wanted to ask you about, organic marketing because I know that's kind of your bread and butter. That's what you also do, with your agency. Can you tell us what let's start by explaining what organic marketing is and how it's different from, like, paid ads and, cost per click and all of this type of stuff.
Yeah, my view and opinion on organic marketing is it definitely takes longer to get results, but it's it's obviously cheaper, it's free. for those small business owners that just don't have the money to spend on ads, I mean, from my experience, you have to spend a lot of money on ads to get good results. So if you're just starting off, if you're a small business and you don't have that kind of money, you know, using organic marketing, I think, is your best bet. And by that, by having organic marketing in your marketing strategy, I feel like you're establishing relationships with potential customers. You're able to bring educational information to your clients or potential customers. It's just it's less stress and less money, and the only thing you have to really worry about is to be consistent with it. Like, you can't just be like, I'm gonna do a post today, and then you like blow it off for 3 weeks. Like, if you're consistent with it, people are hopefully becoming more attracted to you and what you have to offer, and you eventually, hopefully they turn into a client of yours or a customer. So I feel like it's a good way for especially like new business owners to start marketing themselves, because I feel like a lot of times people will want to do ads and they'll want to, put in $5 a day on ad spend, but that's not really going to get you that far. So, I feel like you're better off taking that $5, buying yourself a cup of coffee and sitting in front of the computer or on your phone and um, doing some organic marketing to create relationships with potential clients.
Yeah, no, and, like, I feel like organic marketing is a great way too. I've I've seen business owners who wanna start with a lot of, like, ad spend, and Google Ads and, like, stuff like this, and, like, Facebook and Meta and all this, but it's very expensive. I think people don't really talk about how expensive ads are, and if you're a small business owner, especially if you're, like, a solopreneur, realistically, it's really hard to, be able to afford that, right?
Yeah.
And then see it must really suck to invest all of that money when you're a small business and seeing no success from it, which is
Yeah.
probably way worse than, like, being a big business and then having a campaign fail. It's like, well,
Yeah, and if you're just starting out and you're like all in with organic marketing, like, I think it also is a good way to help you discover like who your target audience is. And then once you have that down, and you have the money to spend on ads, like, awesome. Like, now you're using your money wisely on ads rather
yeah,
than just throwing up an ad and seeing where it hits.
seeing if it sticks or not,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I also wanted to ask you because I think a big hurdle that small business owners face, I mean, I think every business has sort of had to adapt, but I always
Mhm.
feel like big businesses have like, have I guess they have the opportunity to find people to do things for them that are good at whatever it is they wanna do. Small business owners sometimes don't have that luxury. So when it comes to organic marketing, we're talking a lot about content creation and, sort of sitting down and doing that yourself, whether it's a newsletter or, you're, like, actively writing articles and blogs, or whether it's, like, social media content, like, if you're doing videos and posts and, like, all of this. Um how can business owners create content that is naturally going to attract and retain that target audience that they have? So, like, whatever people they're trying to get to. I think a lot of business owners struggle with knowing how to create something that it's gonna sort of get people to their profile.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of when I'm creating content, whether it's like a blog post or social media or email, like, I want to establish, like, form some sort of relationship. Like, I want these people to be like, oh, she's really cool. and, and like, I feel like the way that you do that is like, if you're creating content, it can't 100% be about what you're selling. It needs to be about other things. So, like, Um, I did let's take social media for example. I created this like Instagram strategy like workbook where um I kind of break things down for someone on how to figure out what you're going to be posting. And I always like to talk about having 4 pillars of what you're going to create. So 25% of your post should be about what you're selling, obviously, or if you're trying to get new email subscribers, like 25% should be on that. 25
People actually going to your product.
Yeah, because that's basically the whole goal, but it can't be 100%. 25% should be something educational. So you can teach people how to do something. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, if I'm teaching them how to do it, why, especially for service providers, if I'm teaching people how to do it, why are they going to hire me? You're not giving away the whole cake or whatever the term is. You're not giving everything away. You're just giving them a tip that they will hopefully be able to use and make their lives a little better. Or you can do like a statistic, like the statistic I said about email marketing. That would kind of put a thought in there in someone's business owner's head, like, oh, maybe I should do email marketing. The third pillar that I like to talk about is like behind the scenes, like people in organic marketing, like people at social media is social. People want to know who you are and what you're all about. So like a lot of times my organic marketing will be about, I have a 1-year-old Frenchie. I'm a first time dog owner and like never had a dog before. I'm like, this dog is like my life. I love it. So I'm going to share that with you. So you know a little bit about like
My life.
what I do besides online marketing. And then the fourth pillar I talk about is like just something to lighten the mood, like a motivational quote or a funny meme or something, just to kind of break all that up. So totally forget what your question was and if I even answered it. But
What are like the best ways for business owners? My gosh, what was I
yeah,
even saying? What are the best ways for business owners to try to create online marketing,
yeah,
organic marketing
yeah.
content?
So yeah, kind of just summarizing, like have educational, like relationship based content. Just to have your focus be, I want to establish some kind of relationship with a potential customer or a returning customer. So what can I create that kind of would help that? So if you're doing educational content, they're earning your trust. If you're doing like behind the scenes content, they're learning about you. And I mean, people sell people before they sell products. So you're going to sell yourself before you sell your product.
Yeah, it's true. I think like when you connect with the person, you feel a little bit more inclined to purchase from them, especially if it's a product that's very like oversaturated in
Yeah.
the market. I think I've noticed that right now. I don't think everything is like that, but I think a big portion of what you see, especially with like B2C businesses, um, I feel like that's a big sort of thing that they all have to face, which is oversaturation in the
Yep.
market. I feel like I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it's always been oversaturated, but I feel like now it's just so much more. I don't know if that's just me. 'Cause I feel
No,
like
especially our industry. Like our industry is so oversaturated. So let people kind of connect with you before they connect with your product or service.
yeah, because then if you're getting 400 different options to buy a t-shirt, at the end of the day, you're just gonna pick a random one that's probably, looks pretty cost effective, cheap, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if you were like, "Oh, this person really advocates for, like, the environment, and I love that cause, so I'm gonna buy that t-shirt from them because it's recycled," it's cheaper
Yeah.
than to
That's
have
a
read.
that's a great example. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like nowadays that's just very like, present. I don't know, I feel like when I was a kid, I feel like we live in a world where, like, everything is a massive menu with a bunch of pages.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. 100% agree.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, that's a great note for us to end on. We're almost out of time. But before I let you go, I do have a little game prepared for us. I don't know if
Oh,
you're
boy.
down to play.
Sure. Bring it on.
It's a rapid fire. I have prepared 20 questions, and I'm gonna see if you can get through as many as you can get through in 1 minute. Um, my guest yesterday was kind of like he was kind of I wouldn't say annoyed, but he literally told me like 1 minute is not enough. Like you're never gonna get winners, but I would keep trying.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Basically, I want to see if under how many questions we can get through in a minute. They're not business related. They're not marketing related.
Thank you. I'm like, is this a test?
Like looking at my notes. No. They're fun questions. If they were about like marketing, a minute would definitely not be enough.
Yes, especially with my long-winded answers.
My questions are also long-winded. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna start and we can see how many we get through. So
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Go-to karaoke song?
Oh gosh. Something Bad by Carrie Underwood and Miranda Lambert.
Books or podcasts?
Ooh, both.
One word that describes you?
Oh shoot. This is gonna be a hard one. Energized.
Dream vacation destination?
Australia.
Most used app on your phone?
Oh, probably Instagram.
Favorite emoji?
MOG. You froze.
Emoji? Your favorite
Oh,
emoji?
emoji. I thought you were saying MOG. I'm like,
Oh,
like
sorry.
favorite emoji is the smiley face with one eye closed and its tongue out.
Hidden talent?
I twirl baton.
Yeah. You really do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We kind of got stuck in the emoji question, so you got through 10, which is not bad. That's
Dang, that was fun. I wanted to hear them all.
I'm sorry. I guess like because I was waiting for the emoji question and I was like, what emoji? An emoji.
No, I thought you said like the letters MOG. I'm like, oh shoot, am I supposed to know what that means? Emoji. My bad.
No, I'm sorry. I probably pronounced it wrong. Like sometimes my brain doesn't wire things properly. It was my
It's all good.
But thank you, Michelle, for doing this. It's been great. Now,
Thank
before
you.
before we finish the episode, I want to give you the chance to plug anything that you want to plug. If anything that we spoke about today resonated with our listeners, the floor is yours to
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at yourmediasquad.com. Or I'm sorry, Your Media Squad. My website is yourmediasquad.com. And if you're a small business owner or just starting off and you're looking for help, I do consulting, social media management, local SEO management, email marketing, and copywriting. So, and if there's something that you're looking for that falls under marketing that I didn't necessarily say, reach out to me on Instagram or on my website. And if I don't do it, I'm sure I can find someone to help you do it.
Awesome. Yeah, I will be adding the links to your Instagram and your website on the description of this video so that everybody can go in and find you. And thank you so much for doing this, Michelle. It's been great having you.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.
Me too. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.